And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Friday, December 15th. I am Josh Engleman here to break down an 8-game NBA slate to close out the work week after yesterday's Utah Jazz nonsense. Good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody here. Hit that like button as you get in the door. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Donnie Boone, happy birthday. Good to see. Everybody loves a good birthday. Ready to break this slate down. I don't have a lot to say. Yesterday was kind of meh when it comes to the NBA and the NFL to a degree. I had a lot of that Raiders onslaught, just not the right pieces of the Chargers on the opposite side. And then I didn't need the two late trash touchdowns. That didn't help. So I kind of just want to get it started. What do you guys think? We'll just dive in. 8 games, get in, get out. I think that's what we'll do. So coffee's here. We're getting right into this bad boy today. So we've got the coffee. I hope you guys do as well. Maybe you have tea. Maybe you have a water. Maybe you have a beer. Maybe you have a joint. Maybe you have some breakfast. Whatever you have, we can cheers with it. Rise and grind, everybody. Let's get it started. Bang. Oh, I'm excited. Phenomenal. Phenomenal as usual. Before we get started, whoopah, it's on the screen right now. If you are interested in college DFS, that's going to be college football and college basketball, you are in luck. 50% off using the promo code BOWL for your first week or month. You're going to get college football projections and ownership. We've got a bunch of advanced stats and stuff, all handled by Matt Kajeski. He is deep in the college sports weeds. Get all of that on the college football side for the next month or so until bowl season is over. You also get our college basketball projections. That's $750. This is after 50% off. It's $750 for a week. It's $25 for a month. Link in the description of this video. I hope. Sign up. You're going to want it. I promise you. I'll be using these college football projections on Saturday, trying to pick up a dub. So you guys should as well. But for now, boom. We are going to get into this. So here we go. First game up. We're locked and loaded right out of the gate. You know what? I'm taking one more sip of coffee. So good. So good. All righty. New Orleans Pelicans. 7-point favorites in Charlotte. 231 total. On the Pelicans side, no Larry Nance, no Matt Ryan. Q-tag on Zion. Cody Zeller available. So we didn't have Zion last time out. I think for today, we're going to assume that he's in. But we're really going to assume he is in for the simple fact that this is the first game of the night. Which reminds me, I want to bring the time over in this one. So I'm going to put that there. And I've always wanted to show the time here, and I just have been too lazy to set it up, and now I just kind of want it. So I'm going to take the 2 seconds to grab the time. And we can format this as time. Perfect. And then if I just center this across selection, we should be fine. I always want to look at it when it's there, and I always look at it on the YouTube screen, and that's just not what we're looking for. So if I do this, now we have the time. Perfect. Perfect. That's exactly what we needed. So 7 o'clock start for this one. We put Zion in because we just assume Zion plays. And we will get this information before the game starts. That is the key takeaway. All right, so let's pull up minutes tables for the Pels. Let's get everybody out of there for right now. 34 to CJ. Honestly feels a little high, but they are 7-point favorite. It's in Charlotte. I kind of want to go to 33 on CJ. He just hasn't been playing as much as he normally does, but 34 is probably the right answer. 35 to Brandon Ingram. 29 to Joval. Feels about right. But now that we've got Zion back, I think we get probably one rotation out of Cody Zeller like we normally do. You know, we'll put him in for like 8 minutes. We'll give Zion the other 11 at the 5 plus another 21. That gets him to 32. I think we get Herb Jones to 31. And then we fill in around the edges with everybody else. We get Jose Alvarado in for backup point guard run. We get Trey Murphy, played 32 and a half minutes with Zion out. I think 26 to 28 makes the most sense. Now I have 30 minutes left for Najee Marshall, Dyson Daniels. That seems easy enough. Boom. And boom. I'm thinking the Pels could look decent. It's all going to come down to pricing. Not that it doesn't always come down to pricing for everybody. On the Charlotte end, obviously no LaMelo Ball. PJ Washington, questionable. Mark Williams, doubtful. That will actually be an issue as we move along a little bit further. If PJ Washington can't play, I think Nick Richards starts to look a little bit better, and then we're probably starting to have a conversation about like JT Thor as a value option. $38 minutes for Terry Rozier. I got 35 for Brandon Miller. We've got 37 for Miles Bridges. 33 for Gordon Hayward. I've got 30 for PJ Washington, assuming he plays. But again, we'll have that information. 26 for Nick Richards. We got 40 out of Nick Richards last time out after PJ Washington got hurt. So think about what that can be if we know that news. We're going to end up getting to a lot of PJ Washington. We won't project him for that kind of minutes, but we will have him somewhere in that probably 30 to 32 range. I do probably want to bump him up just a hair. So we got Ish, Bryce McGowan's, JT Thor, all playing, about the same minutes off the bench. I kind of want to bump Nick Richards up. But at the same time, I don't want to overreact to a game where he got minutes for reasons that he wouldn't get minutes for. Like, he just ended up having to play a lot more and didn't have to close. So I will take him to 27. And I will take one off of PJ Washington to 29. But we should be pretty good here on this game. We didn't really make any changes. Nope, that's not true. I need to make rate changes to the Pelicans for not having Zion. I should have known better. Or maybe I don't. The Charlotte side, we don't have to make any tweaks to. But Let's just check the Pels out. 24.5 raw points to Zion. Yeah, I'm a little light there. Let's pull all of these rates for right now. And let's get the Pelicans rates when all three of the main dudes play. That's CJ, that's Ingram, that's Zion. Because we have Zion at 24.5 points. That is a relatively low number, actually. They played 8 games with everybody together. Zion has a 25% usage rate. The fact that he's projected for like 23 real points is kind of wild. It's 23 to BI as well. And then it's 18.5 to CJ. We can fill in with the rest of these guys. Joval on the year in these games has a 19.5% usage rate. So we are a little light there. If I bump that up, it starts to bring him back in line. And then Herb Jones is at 11.5 points. I can bump him up. And I guess we need to then lock in Trey Murphy. First game, New Orleans Pelicans. Not all that interesting. I don't mind Zion. I don't mind Joval. I don't mind Herb Jones. They don't grade out well. It's a great matchup defensively, but from a pace perspective, you're not really picking up a ton. We have a game. We have Pacers Wizards today, 257 total. We've got Hawks Toronto, 244 total. Now, this is in the 230s, but just barely. But we also have Pistons Sixers in the 230s, Lakers Spurs in the 230s, Knicks Suns in the 230s. So this is just a game, and I don't think that the Pelicans side of it looks all that appealing. On the Charlotte side, it's a little bit different. Charlotte, to me, looks really good. 6K Brandon Miller, shooting guard, small forward, playing big minutes. Miles Bridges, 7,500, looks fine. Nick Richards at 5,400, looks fine. 8,700 for Terry Rozier. He's been playing really well. He's playing massive minutes. I like the idea of getting to a bunch of Charlotte. They are grading out quite well for me. I'm going to take a quick look at their props just to make sure I'm not wildly wrong. Rozier's points prop is 24.5, juice to the over. I have him at 24.5. Nick Richards is at 10.5, juice to the over. I have 11.3. Miles Bridges, 19.5, juice to the over. I have 20. All of this looks spot on. Gordon Hayward, 17.5. I'm a little lighter on Gordon Hayward. I'm okay with that. I have him projected for close to a fantasy point per minute. And then Brandon Miller's at 16.5, and I got 17.5. I like Charlotte a lot. A lot today. They're going to be popular. Oh, no. I put all of this in the wrong cell. That's not going to be good. Did I somehow deleted the thing that I needed. We'll get this handled. I forgot that I put X's here. There, okay, we're still good. We're still good. So let's try this now. I look back and I was like, don't I usually mark these off somehow? I do. Let's try this again. Toasted biscuits. Good morning. I got to take 2 minutes off of the Pels, too. I have them over projected and I didn't notice it. That's okay. Quick fix. I also need to add a cell to this. So that's going to go to D and E. Now we're talking. Perfect. Now we're in. Detroit and Philly. This one's going to be bad, guys. This one's going to be real bad. So the Pistons are 16-point underdogs in Philadelphia, 235 total. 16. Imagine if this was Boston. When do they play? Because that one's going to be bad. All right, let's think this through for the Pistons because they are still without Marvin Bagley, without Jalen Duren, obviously still without Monty Morris. What did we end up seeing last time out? They played on the 13th. Man, they're so bad. How bad did they get beat? Oh, this was the Philly game, but it was in Detroit. Okay. And they kicked the shit out of them. Surprise, surprise. Beef Stew picked up 2 quick ones. They brought in Wiseman. As best I can tell, those guys split the full center run until the game was just over. And then they closed with like Kevin Knox at the 5. So you got 22 minutes out of Isaiah Stewart. I'm fine with going 31 to Isaiah Stewart, 16 to Wiseman. I think that's the goal at least. We got a little bit more out of well, I didn't expect them to close. I'm going to get 2 more minutes to Isaiah Livers. I'm all right with 28 to Cade or to Killian Hayes. I'm all right with 35 to Cade. 33 to Boyan. I don't think I want to move anything around here. Jaden Ivey only played 21 minutes. Feels like I need to bring him down a little bit. They really did cut that rotation down to 9 dudes. I just don't know how to allocate those minutes in the best way. Like if Wiseman's just a backup, it really is a 7-man rotation for 4 spots. Like Cade was live to play 35, 36 minutes in a competitive matchup. So was Beef Stew. Hayes got that last rotation and played 30. Asar Thompson played 30. So I don't really have any changes there. Alec Burks played 14. You would expect a little bit more, but that doesn't appear to be happening any longer. So I think we're just basically leaving Detroit as is. And then we head to Philly for basically the exact same discussion. Leave the rotation as is. Yeah, everybody that's normally available is available. We just saw these teams play. Philly doesn't really move their rotation around all that much at this point. So I think we're already set for this one. I imagine it looks awful. I hope we don't get anything. Yeah, okay. 6,100 for Asar Thompson. If we remember 2 nights ago, he was the only guy getting any sort of love from an ownership perspective. I think that might happen again today, but it won't be as high. Cade for 8,200 is fine. Like, that's a completely reasonable price tag. If Detroit hangs in this in any way, you think Cade would have something to do with it. The real problem here is just the fact that they're 16-point dogs. The next closest line is 8.5. I mean, they're basically double the next worst team. 109 implied total. Actually, somebody's going to be lower than that. Oh, yeah, Houston, Memphis. Memphis will be lower than that. But yeah, the Detroit side doesn't look great. The Philly side does. 11-8 for Joel Embiid. Center only, obviously, grades out really well. I have Joel Embiid at 1.88 fantasy points per minute for this game. And I don't even think that's crazy. Like, his points prop for tonight is 35.5 juice to the under. I got him right at 34. No regrets there. Maxi's points prop is 25.5 juice to the under. I have him at 27. So I think I have to bring down either Maxi's playing time and I'm going to bring him down by a minute because it's not a usage thing. That gets him to 26.7. Probably still a little too high, but I think he plays 37 if the game is competitive. I think you can make a case for Melton, Batum, Tobias Harris, but it's Joel Embiid as the clear star here. And on a day like today where we don't have Denver on the slate, so no Jokic. We don't have Milwaukee on the slate, so no Giannis. We don't have Luka on this slate, no Dallas. They are the other three. Like, they're the four best dudes on a per minute basis in DFS. They separate from the pack completely. So that's kind of interesting. Embiid is on an island today. Will we be able to get to him? Will we find the value? That is the trivia question for today. Indy, 8.5-point favorites in Washington, 257 total. Whew. Another just massive, massive Pacers total. Andrew Nembhard out. Jalen Smith out. On the Wizards side, no Johnny Davis. Jordan Poole, questionable. Landry Shamet out. DeLon Wright out. So, seems to me that we're keeping the same sort of Indy rotation that we normally get. I've got 36 minutes in for Tyrese Halliburton. Kind of feel like it should be 35, but it won't be. It'll be 36. I got 30 in for Buddy Hield. 30 for Miles Turner. I don't really see anything that I want to change here. I really don't. This all looks pretty good to me. Toppin for 22. Feels about right. Let's see. They played... Okay, they had blowout run the last time in some way. So we got Turner and Jackson to 45.8 minutes. So they did go to somebody else for the final two. So yeah, again, not a lot of changes for Indy. Not expecting a lot of changes for Washington either. We're getting a lot of same rotations as 2 days ago. Like, if nothing changes, we've kind of already done a lot of this work. I'm very curious to see what we get here because we know the Pacers pricing has been pretty set in stone, and we're seeing it here. So $7,500 Miles Turner is jumping off the page for me. We need to first check and see if that's happening because of an over projection. I got him at 19 and a half. Well, the prop line is 19 and a half real points. I have 20. The prop line for his rebounds, 8.5, heavily juiced to the over. I got 10. So I actually feel pretty good here. If you can get to an 11-3 Halliburton, I won't talk anybody out of it, but that's a very big price tag. He should thrive. Like, Buddy Hield, I think, is okay. Rolling the dice on Isaiah Jackson is okay. But it's Turner for me breaking free. 7,500 is a really nice price tag for him. I like it. You know, I'm not going to be getting to Neesmith or Mathurin or Bruce Brown, Toppin, none of those guys. It's Turner, it's Halliburton, to a lesser degree Hield and Jackson. The Washington side. Now, obviously, if Jordan Poole is out, that actually does really, really matter. We start probably having like a major conversation about Corey Kispert. I like $5,600 Daniel Gafford. Like, I don't have a problem going there. You know, he played 24 minutes last time out. I might need to take 1 minute away from Gafford. He's played 23, 22, 23. Yeah, I think I'm going to take him down to 25. I think that makes some sense. So then they just have like 5 guys that look identical. Tyus Jones for 5,600, Kyle Kuzma for 8,400, Jordan Poole at 6,400, Denny Avdia at 6,200, Daniel Gafford at 5,600. All 5 of those guys are basically interchangeable to me in terms of points per dollar. The interesting thing is Gafford center only. Avdia has the MPE, but Poole shooting guard only. Kuzma power forward only. Tyus Jones point guard only. The lack of MPE on Washington is really unfortunate. You still have it on like Coulibaly, Kispert. But the big news here will be whether or not we get Poole. This is the number 29 and number 30 ranked defense. So the 2 worst defenses in the league against the number 1 and number 2 team in pace. Now, that is insane. Now, the Pacers are also number 1 in offense. The problem here The reason this total isn't like 268 is because the Wizards' offense is bad. If the Wizards had a profile that looked like the Pacers, where they were like fifth in offense but still bad defensively, we would have so many more points in this game. But for now, we only get to 257. Three up, three down. Nothing too crazy so far. Orlando Magic, 6-point dogs in Boston. 223 total. I cannot imagine this game looks good. And I think Fultz might be back today. So it's going to be even worse. Yeah. Wendell Carter Jr. out. Markelle Fultz questionable, which really is not a wrinkle that anybody was looking for, particularly in a 7:30 start. Oh, and time to go on my little rant again. DraftKings, please, I'm begging you, drop this 10 o'clock game from the slate. We have a 7-game slate that could just have everybody done on a Friday night at 8 o'clock. You don't have to pay attention to shit after that. But instead, we have a game that starts 3 hours after lock, 2 hours after the previous game. There's no reason to have this game be a part of this slate. Just have a bigger... If you want to have the showdown slate, have it. It's not changing anybody's day to go 7 games. Then we get 2 hours of our life back. Fix this, DraftKings. You're screwing this shit up. It's annoying me now. I'm going 24 minutes to Markelle Fultz. I think Anthony Black is just going to be like gone. Is my expectation. I actually think I need to move a lot of this stuff. Oh yeah, Suggs was out the last game too. I gotta gut this entire rotation. So let's get Fultz in for 24. Oh, this is going to be the worst. This might be the worst. So we'll get Goga in for 24. We'll get Mo Wagner in for 20. We'll go 19. We'll get a little Paolo at the 5 action going on. Get him in for 35 minutes, 34 minutes. We'll get Franz in for 34 minutes. And then this is where it just starts to become awful. Suggs is playing 26-ish a night. I think we can keep that. Cole Anthony, his minutes had been up. I think somewhere in that like 25 range probably makes the most sense for him. We get Gary Harrison. I'm going to just go with 21 for right now. I think we get, 14 for John Isaac. Like 17 for Joe Ingles. And then we just hide 2 on Anthony Black or something. Man, Fultz being back is just not what anybody wants. And this game's just going to look bad. This is 2 quality defensive teams. Now we have Boston on the back-to-back. Changes things up a little bit. I don't expect Al Horford to play. He does not really play back-to-backs. Now, Luke Cornett missed yesterday's game. I think we have to assume that he is, though, available to play today. So after that, it's just sort of business as usual. We just need to fill in probably some Delano Banton or O'Shea Brissett minutes. Because the last time Horford missed, unfortunately, Derek White also missed. We got Cornett, and then Brissett was the guy that stepped into a little bit more playing time. I don't really want to bump the minutes of anybody else in the rotation, so I'm just going to add 16 minutes to O'Shea Brissett for right now. I'm pretty comfortable with where I have the minutes on these guys. 34 for Derek White. I kind of want to go to 35 and 35, so I am going to do that. I am going to go to 36 on Drew, and I already have 37 for Tatum. So now I can cut those minutes off of O'Shea Brissett, make it look a little less crazy. That should be Boston. So the Orlando side looks terrible. My expectation is that we will not be playing anybody from Orlando today. I just don't see it. And that's whether Fultz plays or not. Boston, number 2 defense. They're 23rd in pace. It's just a death sentence, honestly. And I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody from Boston sitting. Based on net rating here, I think Boston should be a bigger favorite than 6. So it's possible we don't see a Jaylen Brown or something today. Or a Porzingis. Because I don't think this line is totally right. I think Boston should be bigger favorites unless they're missing people. On the Boston side, yeah, like if Jaylen Brown plays, I like him for 7,900, shooting guard, small forward. I like Tatum at 10-1. I don't mind Derek White or Holiday or Porzingis, but nobody looks great here. Again, it's the number 2 and number 3 ranked defenses in the league. It's just not a great game environment. 223 total is the second lowest total on the slate. Orlando's got probably like the third lowest implied total on the slate. It's just not a great game environment. Not when you can compare it to 257 totals or 244 totals like in Atlanta and Toronto. So for the Lakers, they are in San Antonio, 234 total for LA. Lakers, AD questionable, Rui available, LeBron questionable, Taurean Prince questionable, Jared Vanderbilt probable. So we do have to cut this rotation. Last time out, obviously, we know LeBron did not play. So we need to make some tweaks to this one in its entirety and then take a look at props. So AD will be up first. 36 minutes. D'Angelo Russell up next. 29. Cam Reddish up next. 26. I think. Feels about right. Austin Reeves then goes to 28. Let's see. We're going to get Taurean Prince for 29. LeBron James for 35. Rui seems to be in that like 22-minute range. We still need to get some playing time to Jackson Hayes. I'm just going to give him 12 backup run minutes there. Then we get to Jared Vanderbilt, who seems to be playing about 16. And that leaves me 7 random minutes for Max Christie. Perfect. Now, I need to tweak these rates right out of the gate. So, because oddly enough, LeBron being out matters. And LeBron is the only one with a points prop right now. That is set at 27.5. It's exactly where I have him. I'm pretty sure I have AD over projected. So let's take a look and see when Anthony Davis and LeBron James both start. What is our usage rate relationships for some of these guys? That's just this year. AD 25.5. So yeah, let's bring that down a bit. LeBron is at 29 and change, so that works. Russell is at 22. I don't think I need Cam Reddish's rate in there. I'm going to take Rui and Taurean Prince both out as well. Reeves is at 21 and change, so that's fine. I think the rest of these guys can just hold their mark. So that'll be the Lakers. Remember, matchup against San Antonio is outstanding. We don't want to forget that. Speaking of San Antonio, let's break those bad boys down. So we have for San Antonio, standard rotation. Whoever was available last time out is available here. Obviously, these guys just keep hemorrhaging victories. So let's take a look at San Antonio's rotation, see if we can glean anything from it. Reminder, this was the same game that was played 2 nights ago. This was a very minimal win for the Lakers. Oh, okay. So wow. So the Spurs get off to a 5-0 run, and then the Lakers go on a 17-6 run, at which point Pop takes out the entire starting 5 and does a full line change, bringing on Trey Jones, Chetty, McBuckets, Zach Collins, and Julian Champagnie. And then after that, it's just a randomized list of all of these dudes. But their closing lineup was the same as their starting lineup. That is a good piece of information to know. So I want to reproject this lineup and make sure that I've got a good feel for it. We're going to go 32 minutes to Wemby in at the 5. Did he play alongside John Collins at all? Or Zach Collins, rather. John Collins. They played 3 minutes alongside of each other. When did that happen? That was to close the third quarter. So we're going to get 16 minutes of Zach Collins here at the 5. I'm willing to go to 20. So we can move it around like that. Trey Jones seems pretty well locked into 22 minutes. I'm going to put those in at the point guard spot. Jeremy Sohan played 29 minutes. He plays about 30. So I'm going to go to 30 for right now. Actually, I'm going to go 31. And then we get Keldon Johnson. He plays 34 a night. And then we get Devin Vassell. He played 35. We've been up over 30 the past couple of games. I think 32 or 33 has to be the mark. I'm going to go 32 on Vassell because I don't think they want to stretch him too much. Now, Malachi Branham is the final dude. He played 28 minutes, closed like normal. Feels aggressive to go to 28 minutes on Malachi Branham, even though that worked out exactly like they would have wanted it to. They did close the second quarter slightly differently with Trey Jones and Chetty on the floor. I think like 26 to Branham makes some sense. And then we just fill out the rest of these guys with Champagnie, McBuckets, and Chetty. So let's go. I don't know. I don't really think this is going to matter all that much. 15, 14, 14. So we're going to go 14 to McBuckets. We're going to go 14 to Chetty. No. We're going to go 15 to Chetty, 15 to McBuckets, 13 to Champagnie. Close enough. All right, Lakers. So we've got $9,700 LeBron. Reminder, Spurs 23rd in defensive rating. Getting better because of Wemby just being closer to the rim. And then Spurs are 5th in pace. I know I read this off on, I think, like the strategy show or something along those lines. I want to hit it again here. Now that they're playing Wemby closer to the rim, he's defending twice as many shots now per game as he was in like the first month and a half of the season. It's nuts. Now for the Lakers, only guys we're playing here are LeBron and AD. I don't really see the justification to go to anybody else. Not with any volume. For the Spurs, love $9,100 Wemby. I think he looks fantastic. I think $6,800 Keldon Johnson looks great. I think $6,300 Devin Vassell looks great. I don't mind going to Jeremy Sohan. I don't even hate Malachi Branham, but I would like to get to a bunch of Wemby. I had a bunch last time out. I mean, we're talking about a 22-11 projection with like 4 stocks. That's no joke. Speaking of, I don't even have it in there. Good. Yeah, I think you just got to play a boatload of Wemby. He looks really, really good. I like this Lakers-Spurs game. Much more than I was expecting to. Now, this one I'm really curious about. Atlanta Hawks are 2-point dogs in Toronto, 244 total. This is a 7:30 tip-off. Second highest total on the slate behind Indy and Washington. For Atlanta, DeAndre Hunter questionable. We know Jalen Johnson's out. For Toronto, everybody that's normally in is in. So we got to get Hunter back in. Most of this will just project itself. I will gut that rotation just to make it easier. So for Atlanta, we're going to get Trae Young in for 36. We're going to get DeJounte Murray in for 35. We're going to get Bogdanovich in for 29. Clint Capella is going to go in for 27. And Onyeka Okongwu can get the backup run plus a couple extra minutes. I'm going to take him up to 25. We get Sadiq Bey just playing 36 minutes. No other way to do that one. DeAndre Hunter, 31, 32. 32 seems about right. And that leaves me just 10 minutes for Wes Matthews. Easy stuff here for Atlanta. Rotation just never changes. I assume I'm getting the same situation here for Toronto. Anunoby in for 34, 35 minutes. I'm going 35. We got 33 for Schroeder. I think that makes sense. We've got 36 for Scotty Barnes. Makes sense. 35 for Siakam. I need to make 36. 27 for Jake Puddle. We'll make that 28, actually. I got 20 for Precious. Could bring that down. Malachi Flynn could come down. Boucher could come down. Gary Trent could actually come down. They didn't play anybody else, so I think all of this looks good. I think this looks good. Yeah, they've been playing pretty good. All right, here we go. Atlanta side. Have to assume some of this looks good. All right, I must have typed a number wrong into DeJounte Murray. Did I give him too many minutes? Yeah, I don't get the sense that DeJounte Murray's playing 45 minutes, but if he does, he's going to look pretty good. I was wondering where all those extra minutes went, and I couldn't figure it out. So I still have then 10 more minutes to go to Garrison Matthews. That looks better. So now, Trae Young, 9,900. Sadiq Bey, 6,100. Onyeka Okongwu, 5K. Clint Capella, 6,300. They would be the guys that I have my eye on. No overwhelming priorities, but they are in a good spot. I would say I think I prefer Okongwu to Capella, but it's really close. On the Toronto end, yeah, this is what you want. Reminder, 26th in defensive rating, third in pace for Atlanta. $8,300 Siakam flies off the page for me. $5,900 Jake Puddle. $6,400 OG Anunoby, who now has shooting guard small forward. He's going to be my most exposed guy because I can't stop getting Anunoby. And then 9K Barnes, point guard small forward. Toronto looks exceptional today. They did last time. These prices have come down. I'm going to end up with a lot of the Toronto Raptors. And I am not upset about it. They look fantastic. They will be very prevalent in our first crunches. You know what won't be prevalent unless there's major injury news? Houston, 4-point favorites in Memphis. 212 total. This total is 45 points less than Indy and Washington. It is close, without a giant pricing discrepancy, it's close to impossible to prioritize someone from Houston, Memphis. It just doesn't work like that. On the Houston side, Amin Thompson, questionable. Otherwise, everything else is normal. I never even took him out last time, so I don't think we have too much to tweak for this team. I just don't see it. I think I could leave Houston exactly where they were last time out. For Memphis, no Adams. Bane is questionable, so I do have to put Desmond Bane back in. That sucks. No Clark, no Kennard, no Morant, no Smart. So we should be able to get to this one relatively quickly. God, I hate this team so much. So we're getting like 24 minutes out of Biyombo. Tillman back out of the rotation. I can't even begin to understand that. I don't get it. We get Jaren Jackson in for 33. Yeah, do I need to dig into that? Do I need to dig into those Tari Eason minutes? Jalen Green played 24 minutes in both of those games. That can't be a long-term thing. They beat Memphis by 13 last time out. Eason closed. Yeah, okay. Eason closed, but Şengün didn't close, or Jalen Green. They closed with Jeff Green and Tari Eason. That's not happening. Why did Şengün get hurt? Why did he not play the fourth quarter? They played Jabari Smith, Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, Tari Eason, and Jeff Green the entire fourth quarter. That's wild. I'll give him 2 more minutes. We got to remember, Amin Thompson is going to like grab minutes from somebody if he's back. That dude is playing. Those are really weird substitution patterns. We'll get him up to 22. They even played Jock Landale in that game. Bonkers. Jeff Green was out of the rotation in the first half and played the final 13 minutes. Okay. That almost makes sense. All right, we made that a little tweak. That should be fine. You can't project those minutes, so I feel okay with it. We will get Desmond Bane out there for 35. I guess we get Derrick Rose for 23. Oh my God, this team, man. I guess we get Aldama. I mean, he's just not playing now. I guess we get David Roddy for like 29. Santi Aldama plays like 22. I really, really just despise this Memphis team right now. I mean, Vince Williams just plays now. I feel like 22 or 24 for him is going to be fine. Backup point guard to Rose. I mean, Jalen Noel's playing 8 minutes at a time. Didn't play in the second half. They went back to Gilliard. Oh, I think Jalen Noel's contract ran out. I'm almost positive I read that. Almost positive. Yeah, so I haven't seen the reporting any other way, and it probably won't matter. But Jalen Noel's 10-day contract expired yesterday. And I haven't seen anything that he's signed a new one. So we're going to leave him out, and we're going to get Jacob Gilyard in playing those minutes. He played 13. Noel played 8. I'm going to take him to like 18. I think that's what they're going to be doing here. Who am I missing? Don't need that. Conchar played 7 first half minutes. I mean, I don't know what they're doing here. I guess Zaire is going to be back in the rotation again. You know, give him 16. Laravia played in the first half. I am of the opinion that we are really not going to be playing these dudes. I don't know why I cared. This game sucks. All right, Houston. Oddly enough, doesn't look horrible. $8,900 Şengün, always fine. $4,700 Dylan Brooks is fine. Jabari Smith at $6K. Honestly looks decent. I'm surprised to see that. But you don't want to go too crazy because this game is awful. For Memphis, you're either playing Bane, Triple J, which I don't even think looks good, but Bane, David Roddy for 4,600, you can justify. But this is just a terrible, terrible, terrible game. Abel, congratulations, man. Got first in a contest and second in a contest. Love to see it, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's close this bad boy out. Late night hammer that shouldn't be a part of the slate because it would make everyone's life easier if it wasn't there. Knicks, 5-point dogs in Phoenix, 230 total. For New York, now we know Mitchell Robinson obviously out for a while. It's the only injury news there. We have a Q tag on Grayson Allen, Q tag on Eric Gordon, and no Josh Okogie. Nas Little is available. So we are getting what we normally get out of the Knicks, but we do have to move some things around. Hartenstein and Sims played the standard issue run. We are going to go 26-22 on these guys. Now we're going to go 27-21. I got 36 for Randall. We got 28 for Josh Hart. We got 30 for RJ Barrett. Maybe. We got 20 for Grimes. That number came down a little bit, so we will toss those minutes on to DiVincenzo, and that's probably it. Maybe I go 23 to DiVincenzo, 29 to RJ Barrett. That should be fine. Now we have to reproject Phoenix to get Grayson Allen back in. So let's take out everybody random. We leave Kevin Durant in for 36. Played 38 in his return. Of course he did. I'm going 37 to Durant. 36 to Booker. Bradley Beal played 34 on a back-to-back. So I have no reason to suspect he's not playing 31 minutes tonight or more. Drew Eubanks as the backup to Nurk. Does not appear to be the case. He played 4 minutes. They did go to like Metu type lineups. We're going to need to get Grayson Allen back out there. We're going to need to get Eric Gordon out there. I think we can go to 28 on Gordon. I think we can go to 28 on Grayson Allen. Jordan Goodwin has to leave the rotation now, right? They just have too many guards. Nas Little played pretty big minutes, and it seems like that would continue. Do we go like 17 Nas Little, 17 Metu? if Grayson Allen plays with Beal, Booker, Allen, and Eric Gordon, I don't know how you put Jordan Goodwin on the floor for anything real. I don't really see that. I think you go to more size. But I will be democratic and go 11 minutes to Goodwin, 11 minutes to Little, 11 minutes to Chimezie Metu. For the Knicks, $8,800 Randall's okay, but like he's not going to look nearly as good as Wemby in this range. Hartenstein's all right at 5,100. Brunson's okay at 8,200. No real priorities here. Phoenix and the Knicks, 29th in pace against 28th in pace. This is a horrible paced game. For Phoenix, if you want $9,800 Durant, I think it's okay. I don't really have much interest in anybody else for the Suns. So let's run crunches. Let's figure out what we have for today. Guys, thanks for being here. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. I appreciate the 150 people that are here hanging out with me this morning as we lead our way into the weekend. Big weekend day. Big weekend this weekend. Just massive UFC card. We've got NFL. We've got a little bit of college football. Obviously, the NBA not going anywhere. We have Sunday basketball once again. Yeah, I spoke, Ron. I spoke that Karis LeVert game into existence yesterday. Hope somebody listened. I certainly didn't. All right. FC is locked and loaded. First up, DraftKings Optimals. Where are we going? Can we get all the way up to Joel Embiid? That is the question. Because he is the best pay-up option for today. We have 263.1. Optimal lineup by 0.1. We don't get to Embiid. We get Tyus Jones, Devin Vassell, Brandon Miller, Pascal Siakam, Nick Richards, OG Anunoby, Jabari Smith, and Jake Puddle. And if you want to make the swap, Tyus Jones for Jeremy Sohan is the difference between the first lineup and the second lineup. Brandon Miller was in all 50 lineups. As we slap on some randomness, this will tell a little bit better of a story. Oh, that's what I want. Jordan Poole to be number one. Jordan Poole, Devin Vassell, OG Anunoby, Nick Richards, Brandon Miller. We don't know if Poole is going to play. He has been not great, but 6,400 is a nice price tag. You know, that's where you start to grab a little bit of value. They are facing Indy. The total here is massive. He had 30 fantasy points. Wow. Is that the first day of the season? Assuming that game, I have to assume that game is in the NBA, is in the regular season. Jordan Poole was 8,100 on October 25th, the day that he faced Indy. 8,100. He is 6,400 today. So Jordan Poole, Devin Vassell, Anunoby, Nick Richards, Brandon Miller, Tyus Jones, Jabari Smith, Pascal Siakam, David Roddy, Jakob Poeltl. Look, if Poole plays, I know it sounds insane, but like it's not a bad spot. It really isn't. It's not going to be a fun one, though. Does he have a points prop right now? I'm assuming he doesn't since he's questionable. He does. It's 17.5. Now, I'm guessing I have him at like 19.5. 19.4. Okay. I can work with that and bring him down just a hair and not have him be like the overwhelming dude that you get to. But for now, I do think he looks good in the matchup against Indy. So now we can go ahead and grab the FanDuel side. It's another spot where now I think we could see Embiid. One center could be a little bit more interesting. But it all depends on the pricing of the guards. So on FanDuel, boom. Optimals on FanDuel. 306.89. It's the optimal by 0.3. Jalen Green, Halliburton, Devin Vassell, Buddy Hield, Brandon Miller, Aaron Nesmith, Pascal Siakam, Isaiah Jackson, Alperen Şengün. Hield in 92%, Halliburton in 90%, Vassell in 80%. Optimal lineup by 0.3. Lots of Pacers. Lots of Pacers. And finally, with a little bit of randomness, it's Pacer season. Buddy Hield at the top spot for today. 5,700. You know, you're getting shooting guard, small forward in a matchup against Washington. I liked it last time. I'm going to like it again today. Isaiah Jackson, Aaron Nesmith, Devin Vassell, Benedict Mathurin. We don't really have a ton of value on FanDuel today. We have to hope that opens up a little bit. For now, however, we done here, folks. That is the end of the work week. We have finished this bad boy off. I will be back on Sunday morning to break down whatever we have as a Sunday slate in a half process, half strategy show solo edition. Haven't had one for 2 weeks because we haven't had any Sunday games. But don't forget, I will be here Sunday morning. So that's going to be... That's a 3-game slate. There is a 2-gamer that tips off at 3 o'clock. We'll see what that prize pool looks like. But only a 3-game slate Sunday night. So we won't be around long Sunday morning. But I will be here breaking everything down for you guys. So that's going to be it. I am done here. Prize picks video out in a bit. I lost again yesterday. 0-4 on the week. Yuck. Across, like, it's just bad. I'm ice cold on prize picks. Contenders videos out in a bit. Strategy show, deeper dive, all that good stuff. Have a good weekend, everybody. Be safe. Talk to you soon. This was The Process.